Okay. Welcome, Susan Fox, to Sound of Your Soul.
Hello.
And I would like to welcome you. And the
Thank
last time we were talking about your dolls and how many dolls you had. And they are so fantastically dolls.
Mhm.
Dolls. Okay. So now what I wanted to ask you was about how did you uh, become a medium in with the dolls, or were you always a medium?
I feel like I was always a medium. I grew up in a pretty religious household where,
Okay.
things like Ouija boards and horoscopes and that kind of stuff that they didn't like any of that. So I sort of kind of pressed it down for a lot of years and
Okay.
until my adulthood. Looking back, I know that there were definitely spirits around me in some of my dolls that I had in childhood and things like
Yes.
that. So it's always been around, and now I've just come to the age where I accept myself. I don't care if other people think it's weird or I'm weird or
Okay.
whatever, and I just do what I want to do, and I've really um, gotten into it, as you can see.
Yes, you got so many. It's absolutely
Mm.
crazy, but it's really good because I
There are
love,
probably 300 altogether.
wow, you got
Yeah,
300 dolls.
yeah. There in
Wow.
this area, I have like the upstairs in my home. This is
Yes.
like a big cubby area at the
Okay.
top, and I have all my
Wow.
dolls there. It's like a mirrored area on the other side. I'm getting ready to shelf that up and start putting dolls there as well. And I'm on TikTok a lot, and I
Oh,
talk about the
mm,
fact that down
mm.
this stairway right here is where my chair and the TV and the fireplace and things
Yes.
like that are. So that's where I sit a lot, so
Okay.
I can see the stairway and I can see the landing. And with all of these haunted dolls up here, the amount of apparitions, shadows, orbs, things that I've seen in the
Mm.
stairwell area, it's crazy. It's a
Wow.
lot of fun just to kind of sit there and see what's going to happen. And also, you can hear footsteps. I have
Woohoo.
yeah, I have one doll that's really old, and she
Yes.
was stuffed with sawdust. And I came up one morning this week, and there was a sawdust trail from where she
Wow.
sits on the shelf all the way around the landing and down the first two stairs. So nobody had moved the doll. I'm the only one here in the house right now. So that was just really weird.
Wow. And like what as I was got my next question was what was your most scary moment with the dolls? Or
Mm.
did you have any scary moment?
I'll tell you, some of them have really frightening, apparitions that are attached to them. The only good thing about that is when I see it, it's usually pretty brief.
Mm.
So I would say those are the scariest things that I see. I do, a mirror scry. I have
Wow.
this mirror
Okay.
that I like to use. It was a
Yes.
gift from my husband,
Oh,
um, but anyway, when I'm talking to the dolls, I can go into sort of a trance and do a mirror scry, and
okay.
a lot of times I'll see them as they looked in life.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll see those apparitions that can be really scary. I know one that was particularly scary is I have a doll that was, she was a victim of domestic violence, and
Oh
she had a
no.
very violent death that
Yes, yes.
involved a hammer, and that was really scary to see.
Wow. And,
Well, a lot of those emotions and things too, I'm empathic. So
mhm.
that's the reason why, I can't connect to dolls at that level,
Right.
all day long. I can
Yes,
only do two
yes,
or three. It starts to kind
yes.
of wear on you.
Of course, I can understand that because it can drain you as well,
Right.
literally.
Drains my energy and,
Mm.
yeah, and all those feelings, then trying to get your energy back up sometimes
Yes.
is a little hard.
And like, so,
Also.
and then what was your best experience with the dolls? Like, what was like made you go, whoa?
Mm. I just think like the friendships that you develop with them, ghosts are just dead people, so we get attached, so I'd say the best thing is just, those attachments that I have. And there are some dolls that I wouldn't part with, and
Yes.
it's almost like breeding puppies, you get them,
Yes.
you get to know them, they all have different personalities and
Yes.
they're cute. And, you hope to sell them.
Mm.
But when somebody comes along and they're really looking at them, part of you is kind of going, "Oh, don't take them, don't take them."
I'll take them.
But of course,
Exactly.
they're
Yeah,
going where they know where they're going, and it's what
very
it's
good.
meant to be.
Very good. Wow. And do like I know you said you're a medium, but are you a medium with dolls? Like just with dolls? That's all. No.
Oh, no, there
Okay.
are a lot of other items that are haunted and just spirits, around. I can connect with those. I just I like the dolls because they're tangible, for the same reason that the spirits like to possess the dolls because it's a familiar form, So, but yeah, there's lots of different. In fact, I got another item. It's a
Wow.
haunted toy as well.
Oh. Oh
I'll
wow,
share
that's
you.
gorgeous.
Yes, it's very old and it's very creepy.
Wow.
And sometimes without notice, it will do this.
Oh my God.
Yes, so it
Oh,
does make you jump. And
yeah, it
he's a
does.
very creepy guy.
It does. It's a very creepy guy.
Yeah, so I haven't done my full interview with him yet. Of course, whenever I'm looking at an item like this, I always take my pendulum and
Yes.
I'll ask about activity. He's got it bouncing already, but yeah.
Wow.
So I'll ask him if there's a ghost present, and oh, here we go. There he goes swinging over.
Ooh, very
So
nice.
circle is a yes, a back and forth is a no. So
Yeah.
and that is some strong.
That is very strong.
Yeah, so
That's very, very,
that's
very
the
strong.
reason I could feel him from a
Yes.
distance and know that we were into something very interesting. So that will be coming up.
Gorgeous.
I also have a really cool ventriloquist dummy
Oh,
that I haven't gotten him yet, but
right.
I have
Okay.
connected with him, and sometimes they'll come to me in dreams. Like I'll
Wow.
see them online, particularly, and then they'll come to me in a dream, and sort of helps me to know it was meant to be.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
would you like to see some other
Yes,
dolls?
please. Yes, please. Yes.
Yeah, this is the one that I was talking about
Ooh,
that was the victim of domestic violence.
okay.
And
Oh,
her name's Tammy, and as
Tam.
you can see, she's got this broken spot so in
Yes.
her face, and I sort of assumed that she had possessed the doll, and then it got damaged later. But after speaking with her, she chose the doll, and what she told me was, she may be broken on the outside, but the perpetrator he was unable to break her spirit. So I really liked that.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
she's definitely a survivor, and she's a protective spirit and that kind of thing. So
Yes.
Tammy's really neat. She,
Oh,
I enjoyed working with her a lot. I've been doing a lot of TikTok live sessions
okay.
and videos and things. I was doing a video one day, and this doll, she was back here along the wall, and I wasn't talking about her. I was doing something totally different, and she's back there on the shelf, and she just goes
Oh,
that. So she like pitched forward. So I didn't even notice it at the time it happened, but when I was reviewing the tape to
yes.
post it, I saw that she had fallen. So I got her down, and she was one that I hadn't interviewed yet. So I got a chance to meet with her. She's from the 70s, and
Wow, that's
she's,
amazing.
yeah, she's very interesting.
Yeah, jeez,
She was a
wow.
lot of fun.
Wow.
Something kind of different. It seems like uh, I find some very interesting things. But
Wow, I
this
see.
one is, I don't know if you can see her very well from
Mm.
there.
Ooh.
She's a doll lamp, which I've never seen before.
Oh, wow.
Actually, lights out.
Wow.
She's had been like a Raggedy Ann doll.
Okay.
So I saw her, and she was just so unique. She caught my eye, and then
Yeah.
I started to notice that energy. And I brought her home, and I did her interview, and she's possessed by a 5-year-old girl
Wow.
named Mandy.
Right.
So very interesting story about her and about the
Yeah.
lamp too.
Yes. And I see you have little witch hats at the
Mhm.
at the side there.
I love all things spooky and haunted,
So do I.
and I mean, I suppose I could categorize myself as a white witch.
Okay. Very
I
good.
do,
Very good.
I do some of that. as
Oh,
well.
interesting, interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
And like do dolls like pick up energy different than other dolls or would dolls pick up energy from you? Or is
Oh,
it
absolutely. Yeah. One of the things I like to do is to
yes.
use my dowsing rods, and when I let them know that I'm speaking to the collective, like you, yeah,
Yes.
speaking to the collective, which I do a lot, all the dolls,
Yes.
the energy is just so strong. You see that?
Yes.
Yeah. So we could ask them a question.
Yeah, sure.
All
Sure.
right. Are you dolls haunted? Are there ghosts inside you dolls? The cross is a yes. All right. Are there any demons up here? Any demons? All right. So that's a no, which is good because we don't welcome
No,
demons.
no,
There
no.
are good and bad people
Yeah,
in all varieties,
yeah,
right? But
yes.
we don't welcome demons here.
Oh,
Do
wow.
you like being on podcasts? Yes.
Very good. Wow, cool.
Yeah, this is one I always like to ask. Were any of you standing by my bed last night while I was asleep?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is,
It's funny, I was talking about how this is set up upstairs. There's
yes,
bedrooms on each side, and I use them for my eBay stuff.
yes.
And one's got a bed, like a guest
Yeah.
room.
Wow.
And people will all the time say, "No, I'm not staying in that guest room with all these dolls." It's amazing to me how many people are just really frightened by them.
Okay.
It's interesting.
Wow.
But, another thing that's really interesting are the people who are avid collectors. They will, they give offerings to their dolls, they give them gifts, they take them on rides and strollers, they take them out in the car, they sit with them. Some people sleep with them. So people get really close to these spirits. So
Wow. And would you feel like when the spirits when the spirits like move like in your room, can you feel their energy or they
Yeah, I'll get a sense, like if you've ever been sitting in a room and you didn't hear it and you didn't see it, but you could feel that somebody walked in. I
yeah.
think the average person can feel that energy.
Yeah.
It's like that. I'll just kind of I can tell that the energy shifted, but I'm sensitive,
Yeah.
But I find that most people who are interested in the paranormal
Yeah.
are sensitive,
Yeah.
whether they realize it or not. And it's a spectrum, everybody's sensitive at some level.
Yeah.
It's just how sensitive you are and how willing you are to accept it and acknowledge it, you
Mhm.
know.
Like I mean at nighttime now I can like see some spirits uh,
Yeah.
and like it's like I can see them but like it's like I can see their faces like and
Mhm.
it bugged me for a very very long time
Mhm.
and I went oh, what the hell it's if I see them I see them if I don't I don't and
Right.
they just
Have
sometimes they keep me awake.
Yeah, have you tried pendulum or dowsing rods just to ease your mind, to ask questions like, are you a good spirit or a bad spirit? Do
Yeah.
you have any intentions of hurting me? That kind of stuff. Because you can set boundaries then and, tell them that bad spirits aren't welcome,
Yeah, that's a very
things
good
like
idea.
that. So
Very
it's
good.
really, pendulums are, they're everywhere to pick up and they're inexpensive. And sometimes people will just use a necklace. You can do
Yeah.
that as well. Anything will work.
Yeah.
But it's a good tool. I always have my pendulum with me.
Very good. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And sorry. And your mediumship with your dolls. I know I said this before, sorry.
Mm.
Your mediumship with your dolls. Are you just like I know you said you're a bit into the white witch craft. And could you tell me a bit about that or is it just
Yeah, I mean, I do some of the ritual stuff like the saging and, crystals. I dabble in that a little bit. Tarot, I love, the Ouija board, I just all that kind of stuff.
very nice?
Candle magic, that sort of thing.
Like I know that I have 5 decks of tarot cards,
Mm,
and I have like just some crystals as well.
uh-huh.
And I love them, a big whole collection of them. Would you?
Yeah. And the crystals, they'll amplify energy, you
Yes.
know. So, if you're seeing the apparitions in a certain area, you
Mhm.
might want to think if you have crystals there that they're maybe drawing power from, and you can draw them to kind of mingle in other areas by having a sizable crystal in that area.
What sort of crystals would you have, or would you?
I wish I had it. It's
Yeah.
downstairs right now, but I have a big like crystal piece. It's like a big tower that I kind of lucked into at a festival.
Yeah.
But any crystal,
Yes.
they draw energy from. A lot of people use the crystals as offerings for the dolls as well. They'll set the different crystals beside them to, if it's a loving energy, perhaps they'll use the rose quartz or something like that, and it helps amplify their energy and gives them something to draw off of.
Very good. I love it. I mean, what would your favorite crystal be? Or
I just like the regular quartz
okay,
crystal. I just like the amplification. Yeah.
okay, very good.
So, I'm sort of a go big or go home kind of girl and have a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
trouble with moderation, as you can see.
Yeah, it does.
So I'm all about more, 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 and
Yes.
that's what I feel like the reputation of the quartz crystal is just about amplification, and I like the
Wow.
idea of that.
And tell me about your eBay, like how and how you sell on eBay, or
I've been using mainly, I do have a few dolls on Etsy, and mostly my store's on eBay. It's called Haunted Playthings.
okay.
So I also have a TikTok, and I advertise the dolls quite a bit on there. Whenever I get a new doll, I'll do a spotlight and I'll tell you a little about the doll. I'll just picture the doll and have the full description with the whole ghost
Yeah.
story. So that's a great way, to see the dolls. And then when they're adopted, a lot of times I'll pop back and say, oh, they've been adopted, and let you know where they went and things like that, which is interesting. But I'd say there's probably 35 or 40 dolls for sale right now on eBay.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I've got so many more, that are just dying to be adopted. That's kind of a funny phrase to choose with ghosts. But yeah, in fact, I'm going to use that on one of my TikToks. Dying to be adopted. It's great.
That's
So
very good. Very
I'm
good.
gonna. I need to get more of them. Spend some time with them.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean,
I try to do three a day is a high goal for
yeah,
me.
3. Yeah,
I like to do that if I can.
nice. And
Yeah.
you do does the spirit connect to do spirits only just connect to dolls, if that makes sense? I don't know.
Mhm.
If the spirit connects to the dolls, or would it connect to someone else when
Oh,
they?
you mean, does it like pop in and out of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
doll?
yeah.
They can change vessels at will, and sometimes they do, but they're kind of, how we're creatures of habit. You once you have a home, most people like to stay there. So for the most part, they stay connected to the doll. Some mediums will draw the spirit into them, and I'd say that happens a little bit with the free writing. It's, like they'll take over my hand, I would say.
Oh,
But as far as like fully channeling and letting someone possess you, I'm not comfortable with it. But
oh,
a lot of people do it. But they're not just going to, I feel like that goes more into that demonic
yeah,
realm.
yeah,
They'll enter without permission,
yeah,
and they'll push limits as far as they can go. But
yeah.
um not so much with just the regular dead people.
Regular dead people. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good, very good.
Yeah.
Well,
Ghosts are just dead people.
they
That's
are.
all.
They
They're
are.
good and they're bad, just like us. And they're
Exactly.
complicated.
They
Sometimes it's hard to boil them down to, a few paragraphs, their whole life and what happened to them at the end. And it's endlessly fascinating just to get the story. It's my scrying mirror.
yeah.
I could use any mirror. I like this one a
It's
lot.
a lovely mirror.
Interestingly, I did pick up in an antique shop a little mirror that is cursed and haunted of
Wow.
itself. It's a little hand mirror,
Gorgeous.
like for a
Yeah,
purse.
that's
And this one is possessed by a woman named Lucretia.
okay.
And you can see Lucretia. She wasn't a very good person. She was a very jealous person.
Yes.
And she ended up killing someone that she was very jealous of. So, the mirror has the curse. Especially, she told me if she feels like the person who's looking in the mirror is prettier than her, she's going to curse them, she says, and curse their beauty. But
Oh,
oh,
crikey.
we all have big ideas and we all say things, that aren't
Exactly.
necessarily,
That's
she's
true. That's true.
boastful. I don't know that she can really do all that.
Very
An
nice. Very
interesting
nice.
little item.
I mean, I love your collection. I think it's fantastic. It's
Thank you.
beautiful looking and I think this is your purpose for
Mhm.
all of this.
A lot of my friends and family have said the same thing, especially since I started with my TikTok. I've been selling the dolls for a while. I'm not a super technology person, so I avoid a lot of stuff like that. But it wasn't that difficult to do. And, to do the videos and do the lives, where I'm interacting with a bunch of other doll collectors and interested people. And, I try to take an hour or two, three times a week and just sit down and
Wow.
talk with people about the dolls and let people ask the questions with the dowsing rods, and it's a lot of fun. So those are fun to check out.
And I absolutely love it. I really do love the witches' hats.
Mm,
Uh,
thank you.
they're
Yeah,
lovely.
I'm gonna I'm working on kind of doing some remodeling up here to make it, better and better,
Yes,
but
yes, do because they look fantastic. They just look. I mean, you said 300 or $3,000 or
300. I have a
300.
lot of really small dolls. The small dolls, I call them, well, here's an example. I call them pocket ghosts.
Okay.
And a lot of people like them.
Mm,
They'll take them and put them on their desk at work, like perhaps a doll helps with confidence and things like that. So it's a great reminder, and her energy can help you while you're at work. Maybe they're protective, and people will take them in the car. I have one that she was a good luck charm. And
ooh,
so I have someone who I still get texts from her all the time. The buyer who took her, um, she takes her to the casino gambling with her, and
ooh.
I'll get, feedback from her about how well they did at the casino. So a
Wow.
lot of the dolls I have, I've probably got 60 or 80 of the smaller ones.
Wow. That's
And I like these because people who are new to collecting, it's not a big investment, the way that I price dolls, I don't know if I ever told you about that, but the way that I price them is based on how much I had to spend to get
it.
the doll.
Yes.
And sometimes I have to spend quite a bit, and they can be really insistent that they want to come home with me. You know what I mean?
Oh,
For example, like the Raggedy Ann, she
yes.
was a more costly item to
Wow.
to get. And then I've got my time involved in it and my gift.
Yes,
And,
yes.
I write the description, and, it's a nice story. And so all of that's included. Some of the other people who sell haunted dolls, sometimes they don't include
Yeah.
descriptions because they're not mediums. They don't really, they can maybe tell that it's haunted because they've got the EMF meters or the talk boxes, and they've seen them move and things like that, so they'll know that they're haunted. I don't doubt that they are haunted, but that's one thing that I can offer, is that I am able to share their story with you.
That is
So
amazing. I think that you're incredible. You're incredible woman. You're incredible.
yeah, it's quite a gift. I'm very grateful. I'm
Yes.
grateful for that.
And
Yeah, and I'm happy
what
that I could share it.
yes, and what about the Ouija board? Would you like do use that or would you say no or just
Yeah, I use it all the time. Generally, I start out with that pendulum just to find out if they really are haunted, and then I'll set the doll right beside the Ouija board, and that's usually where I'll get a name and I'll get the death date. Usually from that, and then I'll ask them a few questions, narrowing down like maybe the time frame they're from, some clues, so that when they share what they're going to share with
yeah.
me through the vision, I have some idea what I'm looking at because it's kind of like a dream. It can be a little fuzzy. Sometimes I'm trying to guess, is that, people are dressed different. Is that the 20s? Is that the 40s? So I'm thinking about all those things. So any clues that I can get tangibly, through the pendulum or the Ouija board, it just helps me understand what I'm seeing in the vision even
Yeah,
more.
pretty good. And you
Yeah.
use and you would use your mirrors quite a lot as well, like in
Yeah, I do the free writing and I do the mirror. I do both.
wow.
So it
And
just
how
sort of I'll get a sense of which ones feels better with each doll.
wow. And you do writing as well with the with free writing. And that would that be like you just have a page and you just write it down and
I'll
just
just sort of start to scribble. It's sort of the same thing I do with the pendulum. I'll take a few deep breaths and I'll just kind of start to move it. Same thing with my pencil. I'll just kind of start to sketch. And then, you can kind of feel like it's almost like I let loose and I relax into it. And then, I'll start to write things. I'll start to draw things. The oracle will start to move to the different letters and things. So I just have to sort of get myself into that state.
okay, that's interesting. That's very, very
Mm.
interesting. And would you say like the Ouija board isn't for everybody, or would you say it's for everyone, like or
Yeah, I mean, I think it's about intention. I don't think it's great. I don't really like that it's a toy,
no, no,
because people can unknowingly bring things in. Um, but, you have to keep your house clean, so to speak,
yeah,
with keeping your vibration up, with prayers of
yeah,
protection, with saging and white candles and things like that. And I think just setting the intention and just saying out loud, nothing demonic, nothing dark is welcome here.
yes,
This is a home of goodness, kindness, and light.
yes.
you know and that's sort of like a demon's not gonna want to walk into a church as much as they're gonna maybe want to walk into a bar, right? So
That's
it's kind of
true.
the same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
They know they're not welcome here. They're not really that interested in what's going on in here because
yeah,
there's nothing
yeah.
like that there's nothing for them here.
Good. And like I was going to say about oh, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh my God. Oh my God, felt brain.
It's hard keeping track of time and all that, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's okay, it's okay.
Yeah.
But like, sorry, with the Ouija board,
Mhm.
I was going to say about the Ouija board, like, would that people would say, oh, like the Ouija board, you can't crack a Ouija board, or you can't put it in the bin because it's just been like misused or
I've
something.
heard those stories, yeah. I've heard of people burning them and then still being there, and I've heard all kinds of things. But yeah, I mean, I believe that items can become enchanted, they can become cursed,
Yeah,
they can
yeah,
become haunted.
yeah,
All that energy, it gets attached to things.
yeah, it sure does
Yeah,
because
that's why we get attached to things as a person.
yeah,
I mean, everything is in energy. Everything is vibration.
yeah,
So,
I do, yeah.
yeah.
Wow. And I don't know, I've never used Ouija board in my life, and
Mm,
I think I'd be scared to do it, to be honest. I don't know.
would you?
Yeah, I would. I would. I probably would have to have someone with me to like
Yeah.
to guide
I
me.
had a doll recently that she was a medium and she did seances out of her home.
Um,
And it's just gotten me so interested in seances and like a formal one with three people at least, and connecting hands and inviting. I'm just waiting. I'm going to do some seances on TikTok.
whoa, that's
I
interesting.
think it's
Yeah.
a lot of fun, and I've thought about, doing some seances with the dolls because there are dolls, once a spirit crosses over, it's harder to connect with them. So I have some dolls who are able to bring messages from the people who've crossed over. They're more like in a midland, these spirits. They're the ones who haven't gone into the light yet for one reason or another. And
Um,
sometimes that's because they're afraid of the judgment that's waiting on them. So that's kind of why you hear so many stories about scary haunted dolls and things like
yes.
that, because they're some of the bad people. But
Yeah.
there's also good people who just haven't gone into the light yet because they feel like there's more they want to see or do. Or
Yeah.
I have a lot of younger spirits. It was just too soon for them, they felt. So
Um,
they still want to be around life and the world for a while, and then it's just like all of us, it's like fear of the unknown and like what's over there, and am I
That
going to
is
still be
true.
me when I
Very
walk
true.
over there?
Very true. I agree 100% with you. I so agree because everyone is afraid of the unknown. And if you just fall into the unknown, it's okay. It's fine. Don't worry about
Yeah,
it. People go, oh my God, the unknown. But I mean, no, I'm not. I don't think I'm scared of death as so. But the unknown, like, I mean, you know, the unknown.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's people are
It's
so.
very interesting. Yeah, I love to watch videos and things about people who've had near-death experiences. It's really interesting. And as a nurse, I've been a nurse for 32 years. I've done a lot of hospice and long-term care, that kind of stuff. So, I've been drawn to like death and dying. And so I've been at the bedside with a lot of people as they've passed, and you can just feel that you're the only one in the room, once they're gone. You can feel when that spirit has left the area. And I've had a lot of the ghosts tell me that, they've started to go into the light, maybe peeked, around, and their loved ones there and pets, and they're there to tell you it's okay to
Yeah,
come.
I agree.
I've heard that a lot. So that's one of the things that is there to help us with that fear of the unknown, to help to draw us in. So some of them have gotten that close, but they've said, "Oh, I'm coming later." And
I,
time is totally different for them.
exactly.
A lot of people worry about their dogs. Like I've been at work all day, but time's just like with a dog. The time is just different in their realm.
Yes, I agree. Now, I have the time is nearly coming up to an
Oh,
end. Oh my
oh,
God. Well, I so much appreciate you, Susan, so
yeah.
very much because I love what you do and I love all your stories and I must have to look on TikTok and
Mm,
like you a lot and everything of that.
yes.
It's
Yes, and I mentioned you in my live last night that we were going to be talking today, and how interesting you are, how much I enjoy you, and
oh,
your other videos, and
thank
with
you
your
very much.
paranormal investigators and things like
Oh, thank
that.
you very
So
much.
yeah, so
I want
I'm
you
so
to come
glad
back.
that we met.
Yeah, I'd like to have you back on again if you would like. If
Yes, I would love to anytime. It's a lot of fun. It's always fun to talk to you.
it's lovely to talk to you. I swear, I love talking to you. I love your stories. I love
Mm.
what you stand for, and I love your purpose. I absolutely love what you do. It's amazing.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes, and I'd love sometime just to learn more about you. So
Okay, yeah. Okay, you can
that
learn
would
more
be
about me. You can. You
yeah.
can. It's amazing. I love it. Susan, you're a pleasure. You're always been like a brilliant superstar, probably superstar. I don't
Oh,
know, maybe I shouldn't
thank you.
say
Thank
superstar.
you so
Anyway, right.
much. All right. Well,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you very much, Susan. You're great.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye bye bye.